Ions. Ion mean a charged particle. It could be a positive ion, which is a cation, or it could be a negative ion, which is an anion. There are hundreds of ions are present, hundreds. And there is a systematic way to do the analysis. There is a thick book to do this analysis. To one class, there is another class, and the other class, separate them and then do the analysis. It's a very big research work. But since you are doing it first time, I have made the experiment simple for you. So when you will go to the higher class later in the research work, then you will be able to know how to do this in more detail. This will give you an idea how to do the analysis of the ions. So just to give you an idea, the experiment is made simple since you have never done such type of experiment before. I have selected 4 anions which are very common and which are also present in the water. The water which you drink, if you see what are the things, these 4 anions are also present there. So it will give you an idea how you can do the analysis of the ions if they are present. The 4 anions which are present, they are chloride, iodide, phosphate and carbonate.
The what are?
Anions, 4. They are hundreds, and there is a big way to separate them and then to identify them. But today I have taken 4 which are very common. You can look this table, you can look at page 35 later, if you want later. It is there. There is a little difference I made. I put here some gap. Do you see some gap here?
Yes.
Which means separate test. In the book, there is no gap. They are just joined together. So it is more clear. It is more clear over here. When you will come next time, you will open page 69, you will remove it, and these things are empty. Nothing is written there except this one. Chloride, iodide, phosphate, carbonate, and the first line. Nothing is written there. You will fill it in the same way. You will do the experiment and you will fill it. For each of the anion, for example for chloride, you are going to do 3 tests. Test number 1, test number 2, and test number 3. In 3 test tubes. Every test, for example test number 1, it has 2 parts. This is one test, but it has 2 parts. I will show you everything. I'm just explaining you this one. So in one, you will take the chloride, then you add into it silver nitrate, you will see what is the result, and then you add into it dilute nitric acid. So one test is complete. Then you will take chloride again in the second test tube, and you will do the test number 2. You will add barium chloride, and then you will add HCl. I will show you this one now. And then you take the third test tube, you will take the chloride, and you will do the test number 3 in the same way. When you will come next time in the lab, you will do the experiment directly. You will not stay here. Directly you will do. You will not ask me any question. How to do this one, what I take, what I do, nothing. I will not answer anything. And if, for example, you don't know, I told you I will cut the grade. And then I will give you this one. In 2 days, today this experiment, which we have done, this experiment, instructions, not for this experiment, for every experiment, not for this lab, for every lab, there are some very, very important instructions. And you follow them, because today you are here in this university. Tomorrow you will be there outside studying Canada, America, Europe, inshallah, many places and going for the higher studies. Some points keep in your mind. Whenever you take anything from any bottle, must read the label. first of all must read the label. If you are taking iodide, this is the iodide. If you want to take acid, which acid you want? This is an acid, this is an acid, this is an acid. So this is nitric acid, HNO3. Make sure that you are taking nitric acid if you need it. This is hydrochloric acid. Make sure that what you are going to take it. Read the label. The second point, which is the most important point in chemistry and in other labs. The most important point so far. If you take something from here with a dropper, look over here. You take it, use it, put it back in the same bottle. Never exchange, never. This is not a small mistake. It is a very, very big mistake. This is called blunder. If someone is watching you and he looks at you that you exchange the dropper, believe me, he will think, no, these students, they know nothing. This is the biggest mistake considered for a science student. So make sure that you never exchange the dropper. Because when you are doing the experiment, all the bottles are busy. Some student is taking this one, some student is taking this one. And maybe there is no, it is empty. Nothing is, no dropper is there. So if there is no dropper, don't put the dropper back in anywhere, wherever you like. Make sure that you put the dropper in the same. Did you understand? Yes. It's a very, very important point. Learn it, remember it. You see, all the test tubes are neat and clean. Who did neat and clean? Who washed them? The previous student. The previous students. When you will go, make them like that. Wash them with the brush and with the sabun. It is there. And when you go, don't wash with the distilled water. Who will wash with the distilled water? For example, did you see these test tubes are clean? But they are not clean with the distilled water. I will start the experiment, I will make them clean. Right? Yes. I will show you how to do the experiment the same way you will do. This is one set. These two trays, they are one set. This is the 4 anions, carbonate, phosphate, iodide, chloride, 4 anions. These are the reagents. Reagents mean the chemicals which are used to do the reaction. So these two sets will be there. And similarly, the two sets will be on this side. Half of the student will go there, half of the student will go there, and they will start the experiment. Now, for example, I take a test tube, this test tube. This is a different type of test tube. This is a centrifuge tube. It is used for a machine. We will do this one. We will use it next time in another experiment in a machine. Don't use this one. I take the test tube and I look over here. I wash it with the water. This is the water. Now this is ready to use. I take chloride. I read the label. Here is the chloride. It is written over there. Chloride. Right? Here is the chloride. I take this one. Look over here. And I put into that. I am not inserting inside. I am not inserting inside. Inserting inside will contaminate it. All the solution become contaminated. So from the top, do it.
What does
Contaminate. Yes. Not bacteria. Some other chemical. Tell it. Translate contaminate. What mean? Contaminate in the test tube is something else. Maybe in the test tube something else. So I put it back. So whole solution become bad. No, not useful. This much quantity. Don't take more than this one. This much quantity. This is the about 15-20 drops. No need to count it. No need to count it. 15 drops, about 15 drops. Now I will do test number 1. I will do test number 1. Okay. Test number 1 has 2 parts. One part is silver nitrate and the other part is dilute nitric acid. The second part is to check the solubility. The first part is to do the reaction. So silver nitrate, here is silver nitrate. Here is silver nitrate. Okay? And it has a lid. This solution, if it touch with my hand, and if I don't wash my hand immediately, this will become black. The hand become black, which is not dangerous. I can take the food, everything I can do. Maybe it will take 1 or 2 days to remove it. Every day when I make the solution, my hand become black, yellow, like this and that. There is nothing to worry. But you must take care. This bottle, what is the color of the bottle? Black. It was not black. Yeah, like black. This is how the hand become. If this was not black, this was not black. This was like this. But this solution make the hand black and some spots, and you can, if you immediately wash it, it is good. And if you forget, nothing to worry, nothing to worry. This is silver nitrate, and I will put 5 or 6 drops in that. Or I can put my finger over there, so that the lid will not fall. Even if I don't put the finger, I put 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 4, up to 4 to 8, anything. And you can see that here is the precipitates, white precipitates are formed. Hold the test tube with 3 fingers from the top, from here, and shake it. It will move like that. It will move like that. Did you understand?
Yes.
This is the way to shake. This is the way to shake. How I know this is precipitate? I cannot see my finger. It is solid particle. If I can see my finger, it is a clear solution. But it is precipitate, so you can see this. If you hold it from here with your full hand, then you cannot shake it. With 3 fingers from the neck, from the top, and it will move like this. Okay? This is a white precipitate with the silver nitrate. Test number 1. Half the test is complete, half, not full. It has 2 parts. 1 part is complete. Now I will do the second part. The second part is dilute nitric acid to check the solubility, whether it dissolve or not dissolve. Dilute nitric acid. Here is the dilute nitric acid. Here is dilute nitric acid. It is an acid. This is also an acid, but I will not use this one. Whatever is written, I will use the same. Here is dilute nitric acid. Look over here. I take this one, and from the top, the same way you will do. 15 to 20 drops. 15 to 20 drops, and I shake it, and the precipitate do not dissolve. Insoluble. Is that right?
Yes.
1 test is complete. This is 1 test. I put it on one side. 1 test is complete. Now I will do the test number 2 with the chloride. Okay? I will take the new test tube. I take this one. I wash it. Look at the amount. I wash it. I take chloride. 1 centimeter cube. I add into it barium chloride. Here is barium chloride. Here is the label, barium chloride. I take barium chloride, put it from the top, and I shake it. There is no reaction. Half test is complete. Then I do the second half and dilute HCl. The second half is to check the solubility. So here is dilute HCl. All right. I take this one and I put into that, and you see that there is no reaction. The second test is complete. So I put it on one side, and then I take another test tube. And then I take chloride. Here is the chloride in the same way. And here is the test number 3. It has 2 parts. Chlorine and carbon tetrachloride. 4 chlorine. 4 mean tetra. Carbon tetrachloride. CCl4. Chlorine is a gas. Chlorine is a gas, and it is very dangerous gas. And you know that it is used to kill the bacteria and other microorganisms. For example, in the swimming pool, they put chlorine to kill them. Here is chlorine. It is a gas, and I have dissolved it in water. So it becomes chlorine aqueous. Did you understand?
Yes.
This gas is very dangerous. It can hurt us. It can damage our lungs. So it is tightly packed. It is tightly packed. I open it, take the chlorine, water, put in that, and close it in 3 seconds. I can smell it. Don't do any favor for your friend that, okay, I have keep it open for you, take it and I will close. No, he will come. Although he is standing near to you, he will come, he will open and he will close it. Did you understand? This is chlorine inside. I put in the chloride. Here is the chloride. Here is the chloride. That is chlorine. Absolutely different things. Then I put carbon tetrachloride. This is carbon tetrachloride, CCl4. This is an organic solvent. This is organic. And this is non-polar. All these solutions, they are in water. They are polar. So this is polar. This is non-polar. They don't like each other.
Yes.
So they will not dissolve. So they will not dissolve. You put over here and you shake it. You can see the 2 layers, one layer and second layer.
Yes.
And both the layers are colorless, no color. The third test is complete. Look, these are the 3 test tubes, right? The 3 tests complete for chloride. Did you understand?
Yes.
I put a gap. I put a gap here. The gap is not in the book. They are joined together. And last year I saw some students, they take chloride, then they put silver nitrate, then they put dilute nitric acid, then they put barium chloride, then in the same test tube they put everything. So that is why I put a gap. That is why I put a gap. Okay, so that it's not in one test tube, you will do in 3 test tubes. Now I have finished with chloride. Did you understand?
Yes.
Most of the students, what they do, and it is good, they use only 3 test tubes. When it is finished, they write the result on the page 69. They write the result like this result, the same result, on the page 69, and then you wash them. Throw them and wash them. With the sabun and with the brush, wash them and use the 3 test tubes again.
Throw them away.
There, in the sink. Did you understand? Yes.
And put this water again.
Yeah, put this water because you are going to use it. Because you are going to use it. If you don't want to wash now, if you don't want to wash it now, use the other. No problem. Did you understand?
Yes.
It is up to you how you want to do it. We have no problem in that. If you want to wash and do it again, it is good. Otherwise, take the new test tube. And I will wash this one, and you see that there is iodide, phosphate and carbonate. Now listen carefully. One set will be on that side and one set will be here on this side. Half of the students will be there and half of the students will be there. Even the half students, even if it's half students, they are too many. If everybody want to take chloride, then you have to wait a lot. What you will do, if you find iodide is free, do the iodide. If you want phosphate is free, do with the phosphate.
The same result?
Yeah, same.
No, in the final, same result.
No.
Allah,
لازم نسويها
Allah. Test
4 مرات.
in
No.
لازم تسويها 4 مرات، انت راح تمر عليهم كله، فخذ اليود اول شيء بعدين.
Okay, you can select anyone. Don't wait for the chloride. If so many students are there for the chloride, don't wait it. But what is important? If you select the phosphate and you do the first test with the phosphate, complete all the 3 tests
Yes.
with the phosphate. Don't do it like that. First test you do with the phosphate, second test you do with the iodide. Don't do it like that.
Yeah.
If you take phosphate, complete all the phosphate. Okay, you can select anyone.
Okay, Doctor.
Yes.
Choose one ions and do 3 tests.
Yes.
In first one, after that finish.
Yeah,
Or-
I will show you. I will show you now. Now let's suppose I'm not doing iodide. Okay, I will do it later. Let's suppose iodide bottle is not free. So many students are there. I start with the phosphate. Let's suppose I start with the phosphate. Look over here. I take phosphate. Here is the phosphate. About 1 centimeter cube. You take the silver nitrate. First test. Is that right?
Yeah.
You take silver nitrate. Put your finger over there and carefully take 5-6 drops. And you can see that there are yellow precipitate. Did you see that?
Yes.
Half test is complete. Am I right?
Yes.
But now what I add in that?
The
Nitric acid. I will add nitric acid. Why? To check solubility. Whether soluble or not soluble. Look over here. I put into this and I shake it. The precipitate they dissolve. Right? The precipitate dissolve. It means that this is phosphate. You see that this test is different from the chloride? So there are some tests will be similar, some tests will be different. So I put it on one side, I take the other test tube, and now I take phosphate. Is that right?
Yes.
Because I will finish with the phosphate.
Victor, you have to do
Yes.
that, please. What's mean solubility?
Soluble mean yazub wala ma fi yazub. Okay?
Yes.
So I take the phosphate and I do the test number 2, barium chloride. Is that right?
Yes.
Barium chloride. I take barium chloride and we get this. Right? Did you understand?
Yes.
So we get this one and I am getting white precipitate. Precipitate. I cannot see my finger. This is precipitate. This precipitate. PPT.
what does it
PPT. Rasub. Insoluble. Right? So this is precipitate. Half test is complete. What to do then? Dilute HCl. This one, the second part. The second part. To check what? The solubility. Okay. I take this one. And the precipitate dissolve. Soluble. Right? So look, this test is different from the chloride.
Yes.
Alright, now I take another test tube. I take the phosphate and I will add into it chlorine aqueous, and then I add into it carbon tetrachloride, which is organic and which is non-polar, and you can see that 2 layers. Same like before. So some tests they are like same and some tests they are different. Did you see that one?
Yes.
Those tests which are different, they are more important, because when, for example, after next time, I will give you unknown, majhul, in the test tubes, and I will not tell you what is this. I will not tell you this is chloride, this is carbonate, or what is that. You will do 3 tests. You will do 3 tests, and you will find out what is there, if from the result. Right?
Right.
Okay. Yes. I take the other test tube. Let's suppose I start with the iodide. Right? I can start from anywhere. Let's suppose I start with the iodide. I take this iodide and I will put silver nitrate. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. This is the silver nitrate and I get yellow precipitate. Alright? Yellow precipitate.
Yes.
This, before the yellow precipitate, they were dark. Listen boys. Before the yellow precipitate with the phosphate, it was dark yellow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which makes no difference. If I make this solution more concentrated, then I will get dark yellow. So yellow or dark yellow is not a point to identify. It is not a difference. It could be the same color. We have to see all of the things. Now I put the second part. Put it, what in that? HNO3, what for? Why we put this one?
Solution.
To check the solubility, and you see that these yellow precipitate do not dissolve. Here,
Excellent.
in the phosphate, there was yellow precipitate and they dissolved. In iodide, we have the again yellow precipitate,
Yes.
but insoluble, did not dissolve. Look, I cannot see. So insoluble. So you see the difference? This yellow and this yellow could be exactly same. Look, the second part is different. Right? So when you will be given unknown, make sure that if the first part is the same, don't conclude anything. Check the other thing also. So it is insoluble, one test is complete. Is that right?
Yes.
Now I take another test tube. I take iodide. Then I put second test, barium chloride. I put barium chloride and there is no reaction. Then I put HCl. Is that right?
Yes.
The second part. Do you understand, boys? Do you understand what I am doing?
Yes.
So I put HCl and you see there is no reaction.
Yes.
Second test is complete.
No reaction.
No reaction. Then I take another test tube, the third one. I take iodide. I will put into it the chlorine and there is a reaction. Now I will put carbon tetrachloride, right?
Yes. Yes.
What is this? This is chloride. If something is ending with ide, it means it's an anion. Yeah, iodide. This is iodide. If you finish anything with ide, IDE, and it's an anion. Oxide, sulfide, nitride, chloride, bromide, anything ending with ide. This is chlorine. This is halogen. You know the halogen?
Yes.
Like the fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine. These are the halogen. And the upper halogen, chlorine is above than iodide. Chlorine is above than this one. So it can displace it. This iodide, it changed into iodine. And this chlorine, it changed into chloride in the reaction. So now this is iodine, not iodide. After the reaction. Did you understand?
Yes.
Okay. And iodine, it has many colors. If iodine is in a solution, it is brown. If iodine is solid iodine, in a bottle, it is grey, like black. And if iodine is a dilute solution or vapors in the air, it is purple. So now see what happened. I take carbon tetrachloride. This is carbon tetrachloride.
Yes.
I put into that and I will shake it. Because iodine is non-polar. And this is also non-polar. They like each other. So all the iodine will go down. And you can see the purple color. Did you see the purple color down? The purple color, iodine is coming down. I can remove all of it. The iodine is going down. Right? It's the purple.
I put more.
Yes, I can put more. What we did before, there were two colorless layers. Do you remember?
Yes.
In the first test, look over here with the chloride, we have two colorless layers. With the phosphate, I have two colorless layers. But this is different. Remember that the test which is different, that is the most important test. Because this is a test which can differentiate. So in case of iodide, I get the purple color, lower layer is purple. Is that understood?
Yes. Yes.
Alright, the test is complete. Now I do for the carbonate. In the same way, I take carbonate, here is the carbonate, and I add into it silver nitrate. Is that right?
Yeah.
I put my finger over there as a safety so that the cap should not, and you see that here is, see my finger? This is not pure white. This is off-white, like dirty white. It's dirty white, it's not pure white. And what is the second part? dilute nitric acid to see what? Solubility. Look over here. For the carbonate, when I put dilute nitric acid, there will be two observations, not one. Two observations. Look over here and tell me what are the two observations. The precipitate dissolve
Yes.
and the gas coming out. Two observations. So hold the test tube from the top. Don't hold it like that, so you cannot see anything. Right? When you do it, because maybe when I am giving you unknown, many of the students will get carbonate. Not all, many of you will get carbonate. So when you do a test, make sure that any gas is coming out. So if the gas comes out, this is carbonate. Then I do the next test. I take carbonate, then I add into it barium chloride. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
I add into it barium chloride from the top, not touching it, and I get white, pure white precipitate. Then I add into it dilute HCl to see what? Solubility, and see again there will be two observations for the carbonate. Look over here.
Gas and
Gas and dissolve. The two observations.
yes.
Alright? The second test is complete. I take carbonate. Then I add into it chlorine aqueous. And then I add into it carbon tetrachloride. And you see two colorless layers. Same like before.
Yeah.
So some tests are same, some tests are different. The different test tells you what is the anion. When I finish the experiment, now all the test tubes are dirty. And for example, these test tubes, this dirtiness will not